what we do at work, what we do in life, is fundamentally come to our values. What do we want to bring more into this world? I was truly inspired by the early computing pioneers like Engelbart, their wish to using computer to augment human intellect.
Hi everyone, I'm Kenrick Cai. I'm a staff writer at Forbes, and I'm here with Ivan Zhao, the co-founder and CEO of Notion. Ivan, thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about Notion, which is making our AI 50 list of the most promising artificial intelligence startups for the first time, I believe. So tell me about Notion. It's this productivity software that I go on YouTube, I go on TikTok. There are thousands and thousands of tutorials of people explaining what is Notion, how to use Notion, how to use Notion without going crazy. There's so many different ways to use Notion, it seems like, but how would you describe what Notion is fundamentally underneath it all?
We're generally known as a productivity software that can do everything for your work and for your life. People use Notion for writing their documents, keep track of their notes, manage company knowledge base, managing your tasks, projects. You can use for a lot of different things. The reason why Notion is so flexible because we did not start as a productivity software. We were inspired by early computing ideas that we should allow everybody to create their own tools. Here I have a portrait of early computing pioneer Douglas Engelbart. When I was in last year of my college, I read one of his paper, Augmenting Human Intellect. It was written in the 60s. He did a fabulous demo to show like how people can use computer to do almost everything in their personal life and work life. That inspired me to create Notion, which is like the Legos for software that people can use for all different kind of things in their business and in their personal lives.
I want to go all the way back to the very start, before you even had a prototype for Notion. I was speaking to Josh Koppelman, one of the founders of First Round Capital, and you had a meeting with him back in the day when he was like, I think, top 10 on the Forbes Midas list, one of the top venture capitalists in the world. And he told me that your pitch to him was very unique because usually a founder will go to him to show a demo or a prototype or at least like a screenshot of the product. When you first met him, my understanding, you didn't have a prototype yet and you just had a conversation with him about paper. What do you remember from that? And what was the idea there? And like, how did that relate to the idea you had for Notion that was in your head but not in prototype yet?
Paper's interesting because it's so malleable and people can use for so many different things. And they're extremely approachable too. Right? You can write things on it. If you have a zero copy machine, you can copy 100 different things to it. Right? And we cannot do that with software today. We still can after all those years. Even we talk about AI, right? We still cannot do that for the software people use every day. So
it's not as versatile as...
It's not as versatile or approachable as paper. So the goal behind Notion is how do you make software like paper, be the container of information, can scale up, scale down, can be modified by kids in the kindergarten, all the way to bureaucrats using paper to run businesses, right? That's the spirit behind Notion. And I think what's got Josh and it's like, wow, someone actually thinking about a problem like that.
Gotcha. So this was like 2013, 2014, you raised from a number of angel investors and early venture capitalists. But I think what a lot of people might not realize is that first couple years of the company, by 2015, you guys were almost out of money, right? And you took a trip to Japan with your co-founder Simon last. In these months, 2015 going into 2016, something changed there by the time that you guys launched the 1.0 version of Notion in the summer of 2016. Suddenly there was this user traction and people really liked the new product. What was the challenge initially, and what changed during that period that allowed the product to suddenly go viral?
Like I talked about earlier, our mission is allow people to make and tinker their own software. It's to augmenting human intellect,
Yeah.
right? Then the question is, what kind of product is this?
Yeah.
Our realization, my realization is, most people don't want to create software. Nobody wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I want to create my own project management tool, right? Nobody do that. People want to solve the problem in front of them, use the off-the-shelf software, maybe tinker that a little bit down the road. So the shift for me and for us, Notion at that point is, we cannot give people a software building tool. We have to disguise Notion as the general purpose productivity software, like the document tool, like the spreadsheet, like the project management tracker people use every day, right? Almost sugarcoat the broccoli a little bit. And once people get familiar, use Notion, see we're solving people's daily problem, then they realize actually this Notion software is made from Lego pieces, and people can tinker it, modify, just like all the kids can change their Lego toy once they get used to the initial set. That's the aha for us. And with that, we rebuild the product with the latter philosophy and become a lot more approachable and can directly fit into people's work and life really quickly. And that's how we start getting some tractions.
Can you tell me about what are the most common ways that people are using AI in Notion today?
There are primarily 3 different ways to use Notion with AI today. First is our most popular use cases for writing. Notion is a document editor. So rather than you go to an AI chat product, copy paste the information and back to your document or notes product, Notion has AI baked in. So it can give you the first draft, help you improve your writing, help you do the translation, all the goodies right inside where you write. That's number 1. Number 2, we also offer a database and spreadsheet product. So AI can automatically help you update and organize all the information in your databases. Number 3, that most recently we offered this product called AI Q&A. Notion is a knowledge-based product as well. So instead of using search to find the related document and to read about it and find your answer, Notion can give you the answer right away. So we call this Notion Q&A is the perfect memory for your team, or as if you have a perfect memory yourself. I no longer need to organize my document notes in Notion. I just dump into Notion. If I have a question, I can just answer on my phone, ask on my phone, and got the answer instantly. They fundamentally change how I use Notion, how many people use Notion in their work and life.
You don't have to be so organized and particular and neat about it because the AI can kind of do it.
That's the power of language model, right? You truly understand what you put in there. It can help you summarize and help you give the gist of things. You no longer have to read everything. It's truly magical. You really have to try it.
So you guys last raised funding in 2021 at a $10 billion valuation. But famously, at least in Silicon Valley circles, for a couple years before that, you sort of had what you've described as an anti-VC reputation. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How did that reputation develop? What was your approach to fundraising? Why did you, not want to raise funds? Why did that reputation develop in the first place? And then what changed that led you to raise from some of these top investors such as Sequoia Capital and Index Ventures?
The anti-VC reputation is unfortunate. I'm not anti-VC at all.
You don't
In
agree
fact,
with the reputation?
my fiance is a VC herself. It came about because we realized my co-founder Simon and I can do a lot of the thing ourselves. So like he's a programmer designer, I'm a programmer designer. I can do marketing, I can do brand. So Notion, we always keep the company very small. Everybody does everything. We grow very slowly, try to hire really carefully, and still is today. Because we keep the team size small, we burn very little. We don't burn. We become profitable really quickly. Once you become profitable, you control your destination. Right? And
does that mean everyone is working a lot harder, spending a lot more time on the product, or is there a way to be efficient without?
Yes, for both. People need to work harder because we're small in the team size, but it's also a lot more fun, a lot more creative, right? People can wear different hats. So for example, our designers, most of them can code. Our engineers are very product-minded. When designer can code, when some problem becomes really hard to design, you change the engineer architecture. When something is really hard to build, you change the design. It's almost where can you squeeze the air bubble to the easiest corner.
Yeah.
Right? When people can have multiple contexts in their mind, they make better decisions. They move much faster. They come up with creative solutions.
So I wrote a magazine story about Notion, about you, and talked to a lot of people that have been familiar with the company, familiar with the product, familiar with you for a couple of years. One of the things that came up over and over again was this idea of how the office, from the furniture to the aesthetics, the design, is kind of an extension of the Notion software, the Notion product, or vice versa. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you think about your philosophy with design and how that applies to what you're building with Notion?
I think at the end of the day, what we do at work, what we do in life, is fundamentally come to our values. What do we want to bring more into this world? I was truly inspired by the early computing pioneers like Engelbart, their wish to using computer to augment human intellect. And that's my value. That has been the value of this company. And we're inspired by timeless furnitures created by people like Alto. We want to create high quality, timeless software, beautiful software as well. And all those values are connected. And you can learn more through history, inspired through history of what people did in the past or in other industries, in art, in science, in films. You can steal from all over the places and find out what are your values and what can you create to bring to the rest of humanity. That's what inspired us at Notion to building software, building a ubiquitous tool for the next generation of people.
Ivan, thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed the thoughtful conversation.
Thank you.